guys, and today we're going to take a look at the iRule remote control. It's actually more than just a remote control. It's really a full-blown home automation controller, and it'll run on a tablet. We're looking at it on my iPad mini. And so we're going to go through some of the steps here. What you've seen here is the main panel here from my theater, and you have Apple TV. Let's see, right here is your Apple TV, our Directv, and our Blu-ray player. This thing here is we'll turn everything off, and right over here we have home automation control that I put on there. And I want to add, this is something that I've just done in about a week. There's a lot to learn, and there's a lot of skill involved, and if you put some effort into it, you can get very sophisticated. And later on in this video, I'm going to show you what one of our listeners has done, and he was kind enough to share some of his work on this. So what we're going to do is turn on the TV, and what you see here is the control that comes up. Everything here was default. I really didn't do anything. They have a wizard that kind of takes you through it and gets you a very basic but full featured. Does that make sense? Basic and full featured. It's all the basic elements without the customization, I guess, is what I'm looking for. But what we have here is the volume control. This is a customization that I added. The receiver that I use has feedback, and I was able to drop a control on the screen and have it show the feedback. So if I raise the volume, that will go up. It's very, it's the default that came up, but I know if you take some time, you can put a lot of really cool kind of feedback on here, more than just the default. Then also another neat thing is you're able to add favorite channels. So we can just switch to CBS or Fox. So all the channels that, again, I just put up here, what is it, about 12 of them. And you'll also notice over here, I guess I slid the control over a little. I need to adjust that because it's now infringing on my volume up and down commands. So we can hit mute. What I'm going to do here is go back home. And again, we can hit the Apple TV. And what will happen is the receiver will turn to the appropriate input, and we'll turn on the Apple TV. Very basic commands on an Apple TV. Menu, up, down, left, right, and play, pause. We'll go back to home screen, and we'll put the system in standby. What's controlled in my system, the Directv and the receiver, my Pioneer receiver that I was reviewing recently for the show, are IP controlled, and the television and the DVD player, the Blu-ray player, and the Apple TV are controlled through IR, and I use a global cache network to IR blaster. That's across the room, and you do have to set that up. And what we'll do is here we'll go to the panels, and we'll go to gateways. They call everything a gateway. That's how you talk to the devices. So here we have my VSX70 receiver. We have the Directv and the Indigo server. That's my home automation server. Those we can talk to directly. The global cache we can talk to directly, but what the global cache will do is it'll take that and it'll send out, it'll take an IP command and send it out as an IR command. And that's how we'll bridge from Ethernet to IR. And then what we'll do is we'll look at the devices. And here are all the devices that are in my system, with the receiver, the Blu-ray player, the Apple TV, the television itself, and the Indigo server. You have to set these things up. And let's see if we'll go to one of these here. So you will have to know the IP address, the port, and all that kind of stuff that it communicates on. So you do need to understand a little bit about networking to be able to get this going. Settings, you can sync, and when we'll go here, sync. What it does is you're online, you do all of your configuration online, and when you're done, you save it, then you sync it to your iPad, and everything you've done shows up on here. So there is a little bit of, make a change, upload it to your device, look at it, and then kind of go back and forth. So those are the basic screens that I was able to put together in just a few days. But one of our listeners, his name is Jim Addy, and he's from Platinum Home Theaters. He was kind enough to share some screenshots with us Jim is out of Chicago, and you can find him at www.platinumhometheaters.com. And the link is right here on the screen for you. You can email him at info@platinumhometheaters.com and ask him any questions. He's done work with some people as far away as Atlanta, Georgia. The only thing he says is you'll probably need to be a little bit technical because he'll ask you to do some things, probably look up the IP address and that kind of stuff, and he'll be able to configure things for you. And you'll go back and forth, but if you want a little extra help, he's available to do that. So what we're looking at here is the Caruso Home Theater, probably one of his customers. And they've got three sources here, AT&T Uverse, streaming video, and a Blu-ray player. And if you go take a look at the home theater, let's click on the Uverse. Your controls will come up. This is your basic type of remote control information here. And he's put it in a really nice looking display here. Then we can go over to the favorite channels, so you don't have to go hunt and peck for them or remember the number. You just can recognize the symbol and hit the button, and your tuner will tune to there. He still has volume control on here, channel up and down, the guide, and that kind of thing. And then so you can get back to the detailed by pressing a button and going back and forth. So these are the kind of things. There's a couple more that we're showing here that he's done. Whatever you want done, he will be able to help you. He can do some customization for you, and if you've got a look and feel for your home theater, that's something that he should be able to help you with. So with that, we're going to stop this portion that's on the iPad itself, and then we're going to now take a look at the actual development environment where you set everything up. All right, so now we've moved into the iRule builder, and this is where you set everything up and configure and define all your actions, your activities, and your devices. So what we have here on the left are the activities. So we had a main screen, the watch movie, watch TV, Apple TV, and drawers are those are where the controls are on the side of the screen that are common to all the activities. So what we'll do is we'll go look at the main first. So we'll bring this down, and there's a portrait page and landscape page. I only have a landscape page. And here you'll see the activities, and when you click on the activity, there was a wizard that you set up, and I didn't show you that in here. So it asks you a bunch of questions. For instance, what do you want to do? Watch TV, watch an Apple TV, watch a Blu-ray. And then it'll ask you what equipment do you have? And when you watch a TV, what input do you watch it on? And then also, like, do you use the receiver for volume and that kind of stuff? So you ask that question, you answer those questions, and it will build this for you. And so what I've gone and done is, for instance, here you'll see this is not part of it. This is a new activity that I created called lighting. And what I use here is my Indigo server, and that was one of the gateways that we created. And so you have to create a network code. In this case, it's security lights off. And down here on this part of the screen, you actually put the URL or a portion of the URL, because the main portion is when you set up the gateway, you put in the main portion of the URL, and then here you'll put up the unique portion, and then it'll basically concatenate those together and send the command to the Indigo server. So right now I've only got security lights, but in the future I'm going to add more things, like a lot of the activities, like when you go into movie mode, turning off lights, setting other things to different levels. Those will be all in here, and I'll be able to do that with a touch of a button. So again, it's very Visual Basic or .NET kind of like. When you drag this control onto a button, I'm not going to drop it there, but if you dropped it there, you're saying I want that to happen. And here are the properties for that. For a control, you can click on it and get properties for the activity lighting. There's all kinds of stuff you can do. So you can move it around like this, and you can also set the properties here in the properties panel, which is, as I said, very much like Visual Basic. So let's go look at Watch TV. So we'll go to the landscape page, and this was kind of like what we showed you before. when you saw it running on the when we're doing a video of the iPad itself. Here's the control for the volume feedback, which is something that I added. And under here, we created a device for the Pioneer Elite for feedback. And here was volume, and we literally dropped it there, and it put the feedback there. So we could put a graphic on there, and if we wanted to get a little more creative, but you know, that's something that Jim was probably good at, and I will eventually get good at. So now I've clicked to the favorite channels. Again here with the CW, one of the things you do is you go to your devices, and here's the Directv Channels, and you find your network codes, and literally you take the channel number. If I was to drop channel 2 there, when I clicked on Discovery, it would switch to channel 2. So it'd be nice if you can click on that and then just put the channel number. Maybe you can do that. I've not found a way to do that yet, but that's kind of it. Again, this is something for people who are a little bit more software savvy or programmer type of people. It gives an extreme amount of power to people who are comfortable working in this type of environment. If you want this type of thing, but you're not good at it, you may want to hire somebody like Jim to do this. There's all kinds of iRule developers out there on their website. You can go look it up, and you put in your zip code, or at least the state and city you're in, and it'll tell you who's available in your area. You can meet with them. It does cost some money though, but if you really want something like this, you know, it's available to you. And again, if you're someone who's a little bit savvy with the computer, you can do it yourself for a fraction of what, you know, say like a Crestron system or something like that costs. So that's the video, and you know, I'll be spending a little bit more time with it. In a few weeks, I'll do a video with another one, a video about another controller, the Rumi remote. That's set up a little bit more for people who don't know how to program, and you'll find that it's just really drag and drop and that kind of thing. So if you got any questions, please send them to me at hdtvpodcast@mac.com, and our website is htguys.com. And I hope you liked the video, and you can support us by doing your Amazon shopping through our website, and that's htguys.com/Amazon. Anything you buy through there, we get a small commission, and it helps us put videos like this together. You can follow Braden and myself on Twitter. I am at HDTV Podcast, and Braden is at Braden Russell. And with that, please feel free to send us any feedback, and thanks for watching.